Hi, this is Martin Gray, and today I want to guide us through Language Cafe, which is not only a concept, but also a social business and a physical place, originally developed from the idea of a separate language school supporting a children's course, that school being San Pedro Spanish School in Guatemala, and the course being Niños del Lago, which have coexisted for 13 or 14 years. So the idea of Language Cafe is also a kind of social or fair trade tourism. It was formed out of the idea of my own experiences with meeting people like Maria from Nahuala, Martha and family, Martita, and other people from Lago Atitlan, who over the years we've formed real, natural, inseparable friendships. And this was only also possible because of my increasing levels of Spanish and my confidence to interact with people and bring forward things that I've learned and thought that I could contribute to the community, not only with language. So let's move forward with the presentation, because Language Cafe, as I said, is a concept, a social business, a social venture, but also a physical place. And it could be indeed that this is the place where the regular trained Spanish teachers are teaching their lessons to the language students who typically come and have come for the last 21 years. So we're looking at the inputs, what different people and different skills could be put into Language Cafe. Of course, it could be other volunteers. It doesn't have to just be the trained teachers from San Pedro. It could be, like with my own example, I'm a qualified English teacher and I've contributed English lessons. I know there are people who contribute French lessons. There's Sutuhil, there's all kinds of languages that could be taught and shared at the Language Cafe. And of course, while you're doing this, you could be having a coffee, immersing in the culture and the ambience of San Pedro at the same time. But not only language, what about other knowledge and abilities? Somebody might be a great mathematics teacher. Somebody can teach practical skills like carpentry or art or music. So these things don't just have to be fixed to any one way of thinking. There's all kinds of input, knowledge, world experience that can be invested in Language Cafe. Typically, as we said, with the current model evolving from San Pedro Spanish School, Niños del Lago, would be the children in need who can benefit. Could also be other projects. Another beneficiary could be, let's say that at the cafe, this could be food offered by local cooks, say the mothers of the homestays. And when you've got that sort of nucleus going on where there's language, there's learning, there's sharing, there's people benefiting, there's food available, what an amazing idea that a language student from another culture could buddy up with one of the children from the project and treat them to a meal. And as they're sharing the meal, they're sharing language, they're sharing ideas and experiences. So this is something that inspires me, that I wanted to see how we could develop this beyond the normal traditional ways of looking just at school and charity and some interaction, but not really anything integrated. We could also have local weavers, local artisans visiting or constantly on site every day, demonstrating their crafts and also offering things for sale. So this could be preferred artisans, and in that way Language Cafe is supporting in another way in the community. But then our typical output recipients, yes, of course, foreign language students who are paying and visiting and studying and investing their time and money in something that principally they want to get out of it. It could be local school teachers. We've already run classes where the teachers from some of the local junior and intermediate schools have come, improved their English, improved their maths a little bit. Of course, children individually, not only Niños del Lago, but individual children who are befriended by language students, perhaps. Parents, of course, parents. We don't just assume that the parents have got everything that they need. There could be skills and interactions that the parents could benefit from. perhaps studying or interacting with their children, perhaps individually. The homestay, of course. Homestay families are a central part of a language learning student's experience in San Pedro. And so, of course, they are most welcome to benefit both in terms of the interaction of language or anything else. Tourist police, I put that in there simply because in the past I have been able to give lessons, basic lessons, of course, conversation English, to the local tourist police. It's a community effort because as the police feel more integrated in the visitor and the community experience, so people trust the police more, interact with them, and it's a very helpful thing, not only just for the safety of the community, but just one of those other elements that is there. It exists. San Pedro is a tourist destination, and obviously there are certain things that, certain structures and ways to be doing things, and the tourist police are part of that. And of course, other individuals and groups. As I said at the beginning, my own experience of interacting and buying the odd thing here and there, starting to make friends, maintaining those friendships, has become a central part of my life in the last few years. Inseparable, really. From my time in San Pedro, my ability with Spanish language, everything is integrated. Now, the Language Cafe, as I said, is a social business. We ideally are looking that investors cover all expenses. And of course, there is income and outgoings and costs like a regular business. And all of the income from the language learners is principally funding the community and social projects. By that, I mean everyone who benefits, everyone who is able to take something away from being at the Language Cafe day in, day out, represent the community and or any social projects, formally or informally. So we'll finish there by converting these into real images, just to keep it alive and fun and creative. And a few faces and a few representatives there of the individual outputs and recipients. And a little picture at the bottom there of Marta and her husband Ronaldo, with whom I was privileged to share a bit of a slap-up breakfast once, just as a thank you for their friendship. And they gave me some good prices on some textiles that I bought once. So it was a nice thing for us to do all together. So that's it, Language Cafe. Hope that's a little clearer about how it started, what the intentions are, and where we're going to go next.